Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to today's presentation where we're going to be talking about how you can build an unbreakable mind. So, this is something that's been on my mind, no pun intended there, for quite some time. And I've done a lot of research on this specific topic on how you can just build a strong mindset, right? And oftentimes, when we think about having like an unbreakable mindset, a strong mindset, we often think about motivation, we think about discipline, we think about willpower. But with the research that I've done and with the videos that I've been looking at and the books that I've been reading lately, I have noticed this one common theme or this one common thread that a lot of successful people all have in common. And I will talk about this a bit later on in today's presentation. But before I do want to touch on a couple of things. So first of all is motivation. Now in the past, I have been talking a lot about like discipline and motivation and like what's the definitions are of each and how you can increase both of them. But simply put, motivation is just like a spark of inspiration or a spark of something that kind of like gives you a bit more oomph to kind of like do the thing that you want to do, right? Let's say you watch like this really cool Arnold Schwarzenegger video. That is going to give you some inspiration to start exercising, right? To start working out, to get your butt into the gym, right? Or you watch this super motivational Usain Bolt video of him sprinting, winning the Olympics. Now you kind of feel like, yeah, you kind of feel like running right now, right? You want to maybe like run a race or do a marathon or whatever you want to do, right? So you'll always like find things all throughout life that are going to give you that spark of motivation, right? That spark of inspiration to like start taking some type of action, right? But as we both know, and you probably experienced this numerous times before, especially if you've ever considered starting a fitness journey and then falling off track and then starting back again and then falling off track again. And the reason why most people fall off track is because the motivation simply just like dies down, right? It's like, I absolutely wish the motivation that we had from day one would last for the rest of our life. But unfortunately, motivation will not always be there. And it basically just comes in ebbs and flows. It may be super high one day, but then the very next day, it may be at an all-time zero. And this is usually where discipline comes into play, right? So discipline in simple terms basically means that you do something regardless of the way you feel. You feel tired, you go to the gym anyway. You feel lazy, you go into the gym anyway. You feel uninspired, unmotivated, you do the work anyway, regardless of the way you feel. You do not let your emotions dictate your behavior. And really quickly, when it comes to just building up your discipline or just like having discipline, I always talk about this. And this is one of, if not the biggest things that has helped me personally along my fitness journey, my self-improvement journey, my business journey, whatever kind of journey that I've been on. And I kind of like don't feel like doing the work that is required, I always revert back to my why. What is my why? What is my purpose for doing this? And this honestly is a really big thing because without a strong why, without having like a big purpose in mind for doing a certain thing, it's going to be like, I'll be honest, it's going to be difficult to continue on doing that thing. Like if your purpose or if your why for exercising and working out and eating healthy and stuff is to impress this girl that sat next to your class in grade 11, I mean, when you feel tired and demotivated, like, is that really going to get you out of bed? Is that really going to get you going and like pushing and like improving yourself? I mean, if it does, that's phenomenal. And again, there's no right or wrong answer here, but for most people, I'd assume that that's not really like a strong determining factor whether or not you're actually going to do the thing, regardless of the way you feel, right? A strong why, for example, would be something like, oh, I want to be there for my kids when they grow up. I want to set a good example for my kids. I want to live up to when I'm 100. I don't want my obesity to be the reason why I die at an early age. Like those are some strong freaking reasons to like do the work that is required, right? Regardless of the way you feel. So having like a strong why, a strong purpose definitely helps you kind of stay disciplined. But let's say hypothetical situation, and this usually never really happens, but let's say you're not motivated and you struggle with your discipline. So you haven't really found your why or you haven't really found your purpose yet. Here's the solution that I've come up with that I think a lot of successful people all have in common. And that is, drum roll please, enemies. Creating their own enemies. Now you can either create your own enemy, just completely like a made up imaginary person that you're competing with, or it could be like a real life person. Maybe it's one of your coworkers, maybe it's one of your siblings, maybe it's this person you see at the gym every single day. Even though you don't know who this actual person is, you just in your mind, it's just like you every time you see this guy, you're like, oh God, I freaking hate this guy. Like he's stronger than me, he's more jacked than me, whatever it may be. It could be anyone. But let's say for today's presentation, we're gonna come up with our own illusionary enemy. And this is something that I personally, up until like I came up with today's presentation, I've been actually doing subconsciously. And I do want to be completely transparent and honest with you guys. The way I've personally been doing this, like creating my own enemy to kind of like make me work harder is that I'll go through life and I'll analyze certain situations, whether I'm at the gym. I spend a lot of time at the gym. So usually it is at the gym, or I'll maybe even go on social media, which a lot of like, I would definitely recommend not using social media to create your own enemy, but I have in the past, and I just want to be completely transparent with you. I look through social media, I look at certain profiles, I look at certain people, how they do their business, how they do their thing, right? And now in the back of my mind, and I won't tell this to the person, I won't tell this to anyone. Like, this is literally just for myself, to keep myself just like on my own toes and keep myself pushing further and harder. I'll create this person as an enemy and I pretend like I'm competing with this person every single day. That's something that I've personally done. And let me tell you, this is one of, if not the strongest things that I've done to get me to the point where I am now with my online coaching business, with my physique, with my health, with my body, with my everything in life. Like, I've created this imaginary person, or even like some real life people who do not know this. And of course, like, guys, like, don't get me, like, I'm a nice person. Like, I'm the nicest guy you'll ever meet. You meet me in person, even if I talk to my imaginary enemy, or this enemy that I've kind of like created in my mind, like, if I talk to that person, like, all respect, like, if anything, like, I'll just tell them like, hey, I'm envious of you. You have something that I don't have, and I really respect that. I look up to that. It's like, I am the nicest guy you'll ever meet, 100%. Like, I don't just like am rude to people. I don't like give people weird looks. Like, I don't do any of that. So I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea here. It's simply just in the back of my mind to help myself do the thing that I know needs to be done, regardless of the way I feel. But in today's quick little example to create your own enemy, let's say you don't want to actually use an actual real person, or an actual friend, or a person you see at the gym or whatever, and you're going to create your own, which I highly recommend. I want you guys, and here's the thing, this person, this imaginary person, has everything that you don't have. So I want you guys to, like, literally pen and paper, write this down right now. Write down a list of 20 to 30 things that this person has that you don't. And I want you guys to use the brackets of health, wealth, and relationships. So when it comes to health, this person has my dream body. He has the six pack that I want. He has the biceps that I want. He has the triceps that I want. He has the cardiovascular health that I want. He is faster than me. He is stronger than me. He is so much more than me. So health, that wise, he can eat healthier than me. He has more discipline when it comes to sticking to his diet. When it comes to wealth, this person is making more money than I am. This person is richer than I am. This person is smarter with his money. This person is better with his financials. This person invests into better stocks than I do. He does everything a lot better. He's into all of these different investments that I'm not in. He knows about real estate. He knows about everything. He knows about running his own business. And last bracket here is relationships. This person has my dream girlfriend. This person has my dream wife. This person has all the attention he could ever want. And again, if you're a girl, you could just flip the script. But this person has everything that I could ever want. And every single day with this list of things that he has, you're going to look at that list every single day, and you're basically going to compete with this person every single day. And this really should be able to get you out of your bed when you don't feel like getting up in the morning, because you know deep down that this imaginary person is going to get up. Regardless of if it's cold outside right now, it's November 27th as of, no, yeah, 27th, 28th as of filming this right now. It's cold outside. Let's say it's snowing, it's raining, it's a thunderstorm, it's whatever you want to call it. Really bad weather conditions. This guy gets up anyway, and he goes outside and he goes on a run. He goes on his walk. After that, he eats a healthy breakfast. He drinks a lot of water, and then he'll get his butt into the gym. He may not feel like doing it, but he does it anyway. And if you don't do it, you know that this imaginary enemy of yours is going to outcompete you and outwork you. So keep that in the back of your mind. There's always people, but let's say for the sake of this argument, this specific person is always going to outwork you. So you have to keep up with this person. He's going to eat healthy, so you have to eat healthy. He's going to work out, so you have to work out. And basically, the way that you kind of like improve with this imaginary enemy is that, let's say in the fitness example, health example, you go to the gym, week 1, you do 100 kilograms on the bench press. Okay, that is kind of like your baseline. Next week, you know that so let's say the enemy got the exact same weight as well. You know that your enemy, he got 100 kilograms on the bench press last week. So the week after, you know that your enemy may go for 105 kilograms. And do the same amount of reps. Well, then you know that, okay, in order to beat this person, or at least keep up with this person, I should probably add a bit more weight to the bar as well and match my reps from last week. Or I could increase the reps and keep the weight the same. Like whatever way you want to progress or improve upon, it doesn't matter as long as you are improving and getting better week after week, whether it's with your health, with your relationships, with your wealth, just go ahead and do that. Like this enemy of mine, like he's cold approaching all those girls that I always see at the gym, but I never do because I'm kind of shy and introverted. But I know deep down that my enemy, he will probably talk to all the girls and he gets all the attention, and he's really good with flirting with people. He's really good with all this stuff. And again, if this isn't your goal, then it could be something completely different. I'm just giving you guys some examples right now, but let's say you really have been wanting to talk to this girl at the gym, right? You see her every single day. She looks at you. You look at her. You guys have probably made some eye contact before, but you still have not gone up to her and actually spoken to her yet. Well, you know that your enemy, because he has everything that you don't have, and he has the courage, he has the confidence, he has everything that you don't have. Well, he'll more than likely is going to approach that girl, right? Cold approach that girl, and he's probably going to have a great first impression on her. He's probably going to make her laugh. He's probably going to get her Instagram or her number, and he's probably going to be dating that girl and eventually have her as a girlfriend. And let's say it goes really well and have her as his wife. All these small little games you could play in the back of your mind to compete basically with yourself, because again, this imaginary person is basically just the person that you want to be in 5 or 10 years from now. Become your own superhero. So becoming your own superhero in your own life, you guys have probably seen movies before, whether it's Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. Most of these common movies have a hero and a villain, right? And so in order for change to actually happen, there has to be some sort of type of conflict, right? And the villain in all movies usually provides that conflict. For a hero to actually be heroic, there has to be some type of challenge, right? Let's say Spider-Man didn't have. I'm so bad with movie guys. Like I promise you guys, I did watch Spider-Man, I did watch Batman, I did watch Superman, I watched all these as a kid, but I don't really remember who the villains were. But it wouldn't really make sense for Spider-Man to exist, for Batman to exist, without there actually being some conflict or like a hero or like a villain, right? Because without a villain, there's no need for a superhero, and without a superhero, I mean, villains would still do their thing, but yeah, there would not be a superhero without a villain, basically, right? Because what is the purpose of a superhero? Well, he's there to save the day. He's there to save the world and get rid of the villain, right? Whereas if there was no villain, it's like, okay, what's the purpose of the superhero? He's just being Superman for no reason, for no purpose. I mean, there's a reason why, like, there's the police, right? The police are there to obviously stop the conflict, to stop crime, to stop all this stuff, right? And there will not be a purpose for the police if there was no crimes, right? And so someone or something needs to be actively working against them, throwing obstacles in their path and making them work for their objects of desire. And this is exactly where your imaginary villain comes into play, right? Because there's no reason for you to become a superhero, to become your own superhero in your own life without there actually being like this enemy that you have, whether it's a made up enemy or this enemy that you in the back of your mind, every time I look at this person, he is this enemy for me, right? And so I want you guys to embrace the challenges, because like realistically speaking, like, and I think this is so funny, but let's say you were to like build this imaginary person, right? Let's say you have a son and you want him to have strong character. You want this person, you want your, let's say you, like, I don't have kids right now, but let's say I had a son and I wanted him to have strong character. I wanted him to be tough when he grows up. I wanted him to be assertive. I want him to be confident. I want him to be all this stuff, right? Would I give him an easy life or would I give him a difficult life? Meaning that would I want him to go through a bit of adversity? Like, would I want him to maybe have a girlfriend and then the girlfriends break up with him and him going through like an emotional roller coaster? And again, like, you always want the best for this, your son, of course, but let's say it's not your son. Let's say this is an imaginary person and you want this imaginary person who you have no actual connection with. You want him to have strong character. Well, you'd probably not have him grow up with a lot of money, right? You'd probably make him grow up with no money, or at least enough to like cover the basics. And then from there, he would turn into hopefully this person that becomes rich and famous one day. Let's say you start off poor and not famous, and you want him to become like this rich and famous person. Well, you probably start him off being like poor and not famous, right? Because without that kind of like baseline to look back on, like, he's not gonna like really respect or enjoy the fruits of his labor had he not gone through that adversity. Because let's say in a different universe, in a different situation, this person grew up with all the money in the world, with all the girlfriends you could think of, with all the money, with all the wealth, with all the relationships that he could ever want. Well, as he grows up as a person, like he's probably not gonna have strong character because he's just gone given everything to life, right? He had like no reason to like work for anything. Let's say as well, like he just magically, genetically has the dream of his body and he never really had to work out for it. Well, he's not really going to value his body much, right? Because, well, I was just born with this. Like, I don't really know what it's like to work for something. And let's say this person was super rich, millionaire, billionaire. He's not really going to value that money either, right? Because he has nothing to compare it to. Whereas if he started off with no money, being obese, fat, out of shape, zero confidence, not being able to talk to girls, let's say, and then he kind of goes through this evolution of self-improvement where he slowly but surely, like, he builds a business, he creates a stronger body, he exercises more often, he is now able to talk to more people now. He's a better communicator. He's a better networker. He's able to actually cold approach that girl now. He goes through this self-improvement journey. And now that he's finally reached this top of, he's a millionaire now. He has his dream business. He has his dream wife. He has he has what he wanted for his entire life because he's worked hard for it. He can value this so much more now because he went through the adversity. He went through the suck. He had nothing to start off with. And through his journey, he slowly but surely just improved and become the person that he's always wanted to be. But he would not have become this person had he not had almost like a rock bottom moment where he felt just at his all-time worst, out of shape, no confidence, no self-respect, no money, no nothing, right? So it's really important if you want a person to have strong character to make them go through a difficult life, give them some adversity, right? You have to embrace the suffer. You can't have pleasure without pain. Going back to what I said previously, you cannot have the pleasure without the pain. You have to go through suffer. And this, again, whether it's health, wealth, relationships. And so to conclude this presentation up, I know this was more of like, this is something I never really talk about, right? And I've been really into just like building a strong mindset because when you like realistically speaking, guys, like your mind is so powerful. It is so powerful. Your mind is in control of so much that you do right now. My mind is in control of me talking to you guys right now. My mind is in control of like me moving my hands right now. My mind is in control whether or not I'm going to go for that PR in the gym or I'm not, or I'm going to like go out and I'm just like not gonna like go for the PR and stay in my comfort zone. My mind is in control whether or not I'm gonna eat that healthy meal or have the pizza instead. My mind is in control of me going on my run later today, which I know I have to do, or just staying inside and watching Netflix. Like my mind is in control of all of this. And so if you can strengthen your mind, you are going to become unstoppable because what your mind does, your body will follow. And so with a weak mind, your physical body is just not going to be able to reach its full potential. And so build your own enemy. It could be whatever way you want to do it. Imaginary, write a list of 20 to 30 things that this imaginary person has that you don't have, and you slowly but surely work towards becoming that person, right? It could be this person you see at the gym, and you could have different villains as well, right? You could have different enemies. You could have an enemy at work, you could have an enemy at the gym, you can have an enemy maybe in your house. Like it could be anything, right? And again, like I want to preface this, like always be nice. Kindness goes a really long way, and if you meet this enemy, let's say it's a real person, and you meet this enemy, just be nice. Like I envy you. Like you have something that I don't have, and I guarantee you, they're gonna respect you for that as well. Because if you tell someone, and especially a guy, like because a guy's egos are huge, you're humongous, right? If you tell a guy like at the gym, like, yo, bro, you are jacked. I envy you. Like I want to be exactly like you. I wish I had your biceps. I wish I had your abs. I wish I had your mindset, your discipline. He's gonna be like, oh my goodness, dude, thank you so much. You're probably gonna make this person stay, right? Even if you tell him like, yeah, so low key, you kind of like been in my mind lately, and you've kind of like been my own enemy in my own world. He's like, dude, what? No way. Like I'm your enemy. Like I'm flattered right now. Oh my goodness. Like you're going to make someone stay by that. So this isn't like an evil thing. This isn't like a thing, but if you are a masculine person, if you have high ambitions, I think it's really important to have something in mind that you're working towards, right? Because without something to like compare yourself to, it's like, you don't even know what the actual potential of yourself is. Because if you see a human being able to bench press 300 pounds and you before seeing this person, I know it's a small amount of number, let's say 500 pounds. And prior to seeing this person do it live or on a video, you're like, there's no way that it's not even like, I can't even fathom that. Like, I can't even like, it's not even a thing. But until I see someone else do it, it's like, oh, this is actually possible. Like a human being just did it live in front of my eyes. This probably means that I can do it as well. And so anyway, with that enemy, you're going to compete with this enemy every single day to improve your own life. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna let you guys go. If you have any questions for me, as always, just let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this as well. Let me know if I sound crazy for doing this, or if I sound normal for doing this. If you have your own enemy prior to watching this, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But what I can tell you is that this is something that I've done personally, and it's got me to where I am today, and it's going to continue on putting me in a situation where I want to be eventually. I think this is super powerful, and I do think this is only for a select few people that are super ambitious and want to have success in all endeavors in life. So with that out of the way, I'm going to let you go. Any questions, as always, just let me know, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.